If you're venturing topside, you need a solid basic understanding of each type of ARC enemy you could face. We're breaking down each one, its behavior, and some quick tips on how to fight them, and most importantly, what sweet juicy loot they can drop. Now, let's get into it. First up, everyone's least favorite garden insect in robot form, the Wasp. Much like its namesake, this is an incredibly annoying ARC enemy. It is a small, thruster-driven drone that usually flies in organized patrols alongside other Wasps, and occasionally accompanied by Hornets. We'll go over those in a moment, folks. When engaged, it switches to erratic flight patterns, which make it a pretty difficult target. If two of the Wasp's thrusters are destroyed, it will begin to fall towards the ground. Falling from a sufficient height can also cause it to be destroyed instantly by its own momentum, so keep that in mind, folks. This one's a really simple one to avoid, folks. Moving behind cover, hiding within bushes or foliage, staying out of its line of sight when it's alerted will make sure that you stay out of harm's way with these ones. It can drop some pretty important starting loot as well. ARC alloy, ARC power cells, Wasp drivers, which are going to be very important early on. Make sure you're grabbing those, folks. And if you're a light ammo user, this will be one of the ARCs that you want to be farming as much as possible to build up that bank. The Wasp's older sibling, the Hornet, is a medium-sized flying ARC, larger and much more formidable than the Wasp, typically seen patrolling alone or alongside smaller drones such as the Wasp. Its front thrusters are armoured, giving it a narrow but resilient frame, while a weapon mounted beneath its body makes it a significant threat. When engaging raiders, the Hornet will aim a red targeting laser and fire slow-moving stun rounds. Very frustrating if you get hit by these, and can also be a round ender if you're not careful, might I add. If a raider is hit, you do become immobilized, so you've got to bear that in mind. The Hornet's front thrusters are its main defensive feature, but they can be destroyed, but I would recommend aiming at the rear ones instead, which are unarmored and easier to target. Some combat tips for taking this down. Make sure you are focusing on the back thrusters as they provide an easier target. Heavy ammunition is also most effective if you are going to go about trying to take out the front thrusters, so just bear in mind which weapon you are using. And this one can drop ARC alloy, ARC power cells, Hornet drivers, which are incredibly important as well. Make sure you're picking these up, particularly at the beginning, folks. Simple gun parts and medium ammo. Again, both very helpful items in the early game. The Snitch loves to grass you up to its mate. It's a small, unarmored flying ARC that's easily recognizable by its circular body and the blue scanning beam that extends from its underside. It has 3 thrusters that allow it to move swiftly and maneuver in the air. Unlike other ARCs, the Snitch does not directly attack you. Instead, when it becomes aggressive, its scanners turn red and it emits a warning siren summoning nearby ARCs, typically Wasps and Hornets, to join the fight. This makes the Snitch a really dangerous support enemy, capable of turning a calming counter into an absolute nightmare swarm situation. Do not ignore these, folks. They will flip your round on its head. Combat tips are pretty straightforward for this one, folks. Take out the thrusters to disable flight and avoid its scanning beam at all costs. You can hear these before you can see them a lot of the time, and I would fully recommend, again, just take these out as quickly as possible if you feel like you're going to get detected. This one drops alloy, power cells, synthetic resin, and the Snitch scanner. Next up, if you're scared of spiders, the Tick might not be to your liking. It's a small, unarmored ARC, commonly found clinging onto walls or ceilings inside buildings. Its compact design allows it to attach to surfaces and move along them with ease, making it a stealthy threat. When aggressive, the Tick lunges directly at the raider's head. As our good friend Takibo found out, as you can see in the footage, when aggressive, the Tick lunges directly at your head, attempting to latch on and drain health or shields. And once attached, you need to hold down the interact button to remove it, and if dislodged, the Tick will just scamper away and try again. Don't underestimate these. As you can see from the footage, they can cause quite a lot of nightmares and headaches for raiders, so make sure you're practicing your aim on these things. Combat tips for this one: shoot it early to prevent a latch on, use the interact button to remove it if it attaches, and keep walls and ceilings in mind. It's usually when they ambush you when you go into a room or climb up from a ledge that they will get you. This one drops ARC alloy and Tick pods. If you've made it this far, I'm presuming you're enjoying the video, and if that's the case, amazing. Please do be sure to slap that like button and sub to the channel to keep informed on all things ARC Raiders. We've got in-depth guides, tips and tricks, weapon breakdowns, intense gameplay moments, streams, and so much more, so make sure you don't miss out. These next three I affectionately refer to as Rolly Boys. First up, the Pop. It's a small, unarmored rolling arc, typically found inside buildings, and its round body is surrounded by a glowing ring, giving it a very distinctive appearance. When it's being aggressive, it rolls directly towards you, beeping loudly, and this is warning you that once it gets within a certain proximity, it will detonate and do significant damage to both you and catastrophic damage to itself. The Pop's lack of armor means it's easily destroyed, but you've got to make sure you're on the money with these because they are quite quick and can be quite a nuisance if you don't take them out quickly. Combat tips: maintain safe distance, vault over edges that it can't navigate, so mess with its pathing. Watch out for ambushes behind doors and corners, and this one drops arc alloy, power cells, thermo lining, crude explosives, and pop trigger. The next Rolly Boy is the Fireball, and this is a fully armored Rolly Boy that is encountered again inside buildings, and its armored shell makes it way more durable. Once its front panel is open, that is your opportunity to strike, and that is the #1 combat tip. Shoot the exposed core when it's firing for maximum damage. Keep moving to avoid flame bursts and prevent yourself being cornered. This one drops arc alloy, power cells, crude explosives, and fireball burner. That is a really annoying item to get when you're trying to progress the quest, so if you ever come across these, make sure you're killing them and pick up that sweet loot. The final Rolly Boy is the Surveyor, and this one is a large armored arc that's found usually outdoors or inside buildings, and it's easily identified by the blue beacon it projects into the sky when transmitting its signals. This is an aggressive Rolly Boy that is much like the Snitch. It doesn't attack you, but this is kind of like a ground variant of the Snitch. If it detects you, it will transmit a signal alerting other arcs of your whereabouts, and you will find yourself again being swarmed by other enemies. It is a threat that requires attention and timing, very much so. It is an arc that requires attention and timing to deal with. Use heavy ammo. In terms of combat tips, use heavy ammo to destroy the armor efficiently. Attack the core when it's transmitting for maximum damage. Monitor its beacon signals to anticipate movements or attacks, and this one can drop alloy, power cells, motion cores, circuitry, advanced arc power cells, which are great, sensors, and Surveyor Vault. Now, moving on to the larger, scarier arcs. First up is the Bombardier. This is a large, unarmored arc that specializes in long-range mortar attacks. It is typically accompanied by 2 spotters, which will help designate targets for its fire. Additional spotters will respawn if they're destroyed, maintaining its offensive support. During combat, the Bombardier fires mortar rounds towards raiders, adjusting its aim with the help of these spotters. Combat tips for this one: prioritize eliminating those spotters first to reduce its targeting efficiency. Once those spotters are neutralized, you need to get in there quick and focus on attacking the rear plate and joints for maximum damage before those suckers respawn. And, of course, keep on moving and take cover to avoid incoming mortar fire. This one has 2 types of debris from its husk, its chassis. Main debris drops alloy, power cells, performance steel, arc power cells, mechanical components, medium gun parts, bombardier cell, and launcher ammo. All very valuable. And the small debris drops exactly the same, with the exception of launcher ammo and medium gun parts. Perhaps the most infamous enemy from the server slams looming ominously in the skies, the Rocketeer is a massive, heavily armored, long-ranged artillery arc that dominates open spaces with its powerful missile launchers. It can target raiders from afar, creating dangerous zones that force players to stay mobile or seek cover. Typically, Rocketeers are positioned at key locations, guarding high threat points or patrolling to make life difficult. They're capable of neutralizing human positions very, very quickly, and much like the Wasp and the Hornet, it uses thrusters to remain airborne, and while these thrusters are technically weak spots, they are large and require a significant amount of firepower to destroy. Combat-wise, the Rocketeer locks on with lasers. Once aligned, these lasers flash red just before firing their missiles. Each missile deals heavy damage and can eliminate a raider in as few as 2 hits. Without cover, engaging a Rocketeer is very dangerous, and you should always try to avoid them unless you need to go out your way to get that sweet loot, which is on the screen at the moment. The main thing you're going to be needing from them is your rocket drivers. They are going to be essential at some point in your playthrough, folks. Next up is the Bastion, a massive, heavily armoured ARC that is equipped with a fully automatic minigun that is terrifying. Its front plating is near enough impenetrable, making frontal assaults extremely dangerous. When it engages you, it emits a loud screech just before unleashing its minigun barrage for approximately 3 seconds, firing at the last known position of its targets. You need to use this to your advantage, folks. Its suppressive fire is intense and requires careful positioning to survive. This can literally just shred you in seconds if you're not careful. Combat tips, of course, attack the rear plate and the exposed joints to bypass its heavy armor. This will require a layer of stealth and cunning to be able to open up in this manner. Maintain distance and use cover to avoid its devastating minigun fire. Patience and timing, and if you're in a team, communication is crucial. Do not rush in like a headless chicken. It's extremely risky. Like the previous ARC, this one has a main debris and a small debris loot pool. The main debris contains all the same things. It also contains medium ammo instead of launcher ammo. And the small debris contains alloy, power cells, motion cores, mechanical components, and that nice juicy Bastion cell. Coming in next, perhaps the most outrageous enemy in the game, the Leaper. This is a large, heavily armored ARC, which lives up to its namesake for its incredible jumping ability. It can reach extraordinary heights, often ambushing raiders from above, and it's even been rumored to scale structures such as the Asera spaceport launch towers. Its vertical mobility makes it highly unpredictable and very, very dangerous. The Leaper's attacks focus on sudden leaps and crushing impacts upon landing, which can deal heavy damage if you're not prepared. So, your combat tips for this one: always be aware of vertical threats, look up and anticipate the ambushes. If you know this has got its eye on you, that's what you need to be doing. If you're attacking it, target the joints and any exposed mechanical components during its landing recovery. There's kind of a small little window of opportunity there once you've dodged it. Maintain mobility to avoid getting trapped beneath. And this one drops advanced power cells, mechanical components, and Leaper pulse units. Finally, and the most formidable of all the ARCs, the aptly named Queen, appearing exclusively during the Harvester event to guard the Harvester. She is exceptionally durable and extremely lethal, requiring a full coordinated team to defeat it. In fact, we've seen footage of people doing this, and they've essentially summoned the entire server to work together in some cases. During the combat, the Queen fires multiple mortars from the top of her dome, which land around raiders and explode after approximately 2 seconds. She also periodically unleashes a laser beam that scorches the ground in a straight line and switches between an EMP pulse or a ground slam when raiders approach too closely. Your combat tips for the Queen are: focus on targeting her joints and exposed core for maximum damage. Teamwork, as I've just said, is absolutely essential. A solo attempt, I haven't seen it done yet, but I imagine some mad lad will. Maintain awareness of her attack patterns, especially mortar landings and laser sweeps. I am not going to speak about the plethora of loot that drops, but it will be on the screen for you now if you want to pause. And that Queen reactor is essential for getting Scrappy up to max level, so we're going to have a lot of people racing to get this at launch. Get your squad tuned in and lock in that Queen kill as soon as possible, folks. Check out this next video. It's got you covered. Take care of yourselves. Keep having fun. Come check out a stream on YouTube or Twitch, and I'll see you in the next one.